There's a tradition amongst New York City rappers. And the tradition is, if we're in a battle, if we're in a beef, and I respond quickly to you, then that means something. That validates the track. That means that if it takes you 3 to 4 days to say something, well, then I beat you in that department, because creatively that somehow puts me above you. She decides to diss Nicki over the Ether beat, and she calls the track Ether, which in my opinion was very distracting. The Ether beat is like a gun. You pull it out, you have to be prepared to use it properly. The Ether beat is something that you use to maybe throw somebody into the casket, to throw them in the body bag. You don't come out round one swinging haymakers. There has to be something tactful here. There has to be something that's calculated about what you're doing. I want to reference what Drake said just a couple of weeks ago when he was discussing dissing Meek, and he had thought that Meek had something prepared 3 months in advance, and then he quickly found out that that wasn't the case after he dropped Charged Up, and then he decided to drop back to back. You've got to think about this in those same terms, because let's say, for example, Nicki responds. Nicki responds and she could say whatever it is that you could imagine. I am a bigger artist than you. You went to jail, and whatever personals that they know about each other. She can say all of that, and then the internet will get hyped over, oh, Nicki's back. Nicki smashed her, of course. How could we ever doubt her? And then what does Remy do? Are you going to talk about the ass shots? Are you going to talk about her pedophile brother? Are you going to talk about the fact that she fucked everybody in the empire, Cookie? All those haymakers that were thrown in round one, your cardio's gotta maintain. You've got to be able to be built for the long haul and not just 2 or 3 rounds. So what I'm saying is by using the Ether beat and responding so quickly, there's a lot of emotion that's attached to this. And if you really want to go at somebody's head, you have to be organized. The history of the Ether beat is Nas hearing Takeover and responding on his album. Nas didn't release Ether randomly on a idle Tuesday night. This was something that he took his time with. It's a calculated blow. It's not an emotional response. An emotional response, which is what this should be likened to, would be Super Ugly, which Jay-Z did after Ether. That's more emotional. This aligns with that a lot more. And speaking of emotional, birds of a feather flock together. Remy Ma is, of course, with Papoose. And you guys will remember a couple years ago when Kendrick dropped his Control verse and the whole industry went fucking nuts, and Papoose did his response. I told you guys that Papooses' response was by far the most personal out of all of them. I mean, personal even to the point where it sounded bitter and it was a bit too petty. So Kendrick's crime didn't fit Papooses' punishment. So on this record, when she talks about the pedophilia, when she talks about Ebro of Hot 97 and how Nicki cheated on him, and she even mentioned that Meek had told her something about, ass shots during the All-Star weekend. So all this pettiness that comes out, it's no surprise because she's with Papoose. Papooses' philosophy for a diss record is go for the throat, and that's it. We're going for knockouts. That's all we're doing. Papoose has never been in a diss that I am aware of that was 3 to 4 records long. It's always like one diss record and then it's out. I want to say that the Ghostwriter sequence, of course, bringing up the fact that, she has ghostwriters and everything. I think that's basically a common trope in these diss records now, and that's what the beef from 2 years ago pretty much created, and I think we've already discussed that. So I guess that's null and void. No one cares about that. The 360 sequence that Remy used was impressive. That whole, you sign your 360 deal, you sign to this guy, to that guy. That means that by the time the money gets to you, it has to go through 5 other people. That whole breakdown was reminiscent of Takeover. That whole breakdown was reminiscent of when Jay-Z said, 4 albums in 10 years, I could divide, that's every one, two. 2 of them shits was due. One of them was the other was Illmatic. So breaking it down like that was really dope. Donkey of the Day, mentioning that was very intelligent because as you saw just a few years back, throwing Charlemagne in this to some degree is a win and it gives it legs. And the alleged, if I put the video out of you sniffing coke, that remains to be seen. I think in a lot of these disses, there's always, I have the footage. You don't want me to pull out the footage. Let me tell you something. I'll pull it out. Well, that stuff is really irrelevant to me. I'd like to stick to the bars. And as far as the bars, they were good. If they're read on paper, they were strong. She even had, witty lines like, with the web browser and the Safari. Some that were definitely forced, and maybe they sounded forced because, as I said, she responded in less than 48 hours. And had she given herself 2 to 3 more days, it would have sounded a lot better. But what do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments section. I'm assuming a lot of you guys like this record. I get it. It's done over the ether beat. It gives you that feel of something that once was, but it's a lot like a gun. If you pull it out, we all know what it means. We all know shit just got real, but you better be prepared to use it properly.